Hey there, welcome to the Blissful Biz podcast. I'm recording this during a pretty special week. It's my 54th birthday. As I celebrate another trip around the sun, I've been reflecting on my entrepreneurial journey, especially these past 8 years since launching my first online course, and I thought it would be fun to look at everything I've learned along the way, my biggest lessons. I'm Susanne Reicher, digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience, turned yoga teacher, turned six-figure online business owner. 10 years ago, I flew to Bali for a yoga teacher training, fell in love with the island, and decided to build an online business so I could live there. Can't be that hard, right? That decision launched me into an adventure bigger than I'd ever imagined. Over the last 8 years, I've guided over 1,000 yoga teachers and hard-led coaches how to launch and sell their digital offers, build their brand and websites, and build a profitable online business. In this podcast, I share real proven strategies and the exact steps that work. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, we'll dive into everything from creating offers your students can't resist to making digital marketing work for you. If you're ready to build a business that brings both freedom and success, you are in the right place. You know, the timing feels perfect because I'm getting ready for my Plan Your Year workshop that I'm hosting inside the Blissful Biz Academy. When I look back, wow, it's incredible for me to see how far this journey has taken me. From teaching yoga in my friends' living rooms in Hamburg to running an international online business from, well, pretty much everywhere. It all kicked off 11 years ago with a yoga teacher training in Bali. Before I knew it, I was teaching all over Southeast Asia, in Thailand, the Philippines, and even some classes back in Bali that I subbed. I also already had a yoga retreat directory website that I've set up a few years before that. And my background is in digital marketing, building websites. So I've been working in digital advertising since, oh my God, 1998. So, and that's actually what led me to helping other yoga teachers with their websites, with their marketing. And this eventually turned into this whole adventure of creating online courses. Since then, this business has evolved in ways I never could have imagined. I've launched over 10 courses. I can't even count them anymore. I created a membership. I developed a high ticket offering. And I started this very podcast featuring incredible guests like Ellie van Vossen or Shoshana Raven, to name just two, right? So there have been so many, so inspiring, so amazing guests. My office has been everywhere from a supermarket parking lot in Norway when I was traveling in my campervan to an overpriced camping site in the UK chosen purely for the Wi-Fi. I've run my business while traveling Europe in a campervan, living in Bali, and now from my home in Mallorca in Spain. It's truly been an adventure of a lifetime, and I'm just so grateful for where I am and what's possible. And it's not always been easy. It's not always been a straightforward journey, but really I couldn't be happier. So today I want to share my top 8 lessons from these 8 years in business, complete with the stories and experiences that taught me these valuable insights. So let's do this. Lesson number 1, commit before you feel confident. I remember sitting in my little bungalow in Bali on my bed, staring at my computer screen, my finger hovering over the publish button for my first online course. I wasn't sure if I was ready, if the content was good enough, if anyone would even want to buy it. But here's what I've learned. That feeling never really goes away. You just get better at pushing through it. Let me be completely honest with you. When I started talking about marketing for yoga teachers, absolutely nobody was waiting for my content. 0 blog readers, 0 followers, no audience whatsoever. There wasn't a crowd of people asking me to create courses or share my expertise. In my work with yoga teachers and other coaches, I hear this so often. I am not confident enough yet to go live on Instagram, or I don't feel ready to launch an online course. I understand this feeling deeply, I truly do. But here's the truth. Let me give you some tough love here. Confidence isn't the starting point, it's the destination. The real journey goes like this. First, you commit. You make the decision to move forward despite the fear and uncertainty. For me, this was deciding to write that first blog post when I had 0 readers, creating that first course when I had barely any experience. Then comes courage, the strength to actually take action on that commitment. It's about pushing through the discomfort of recording that first video, writing that post, or launching that course. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. With consistent action comes ability. You get better at what you do. Your writing improves. Your teaching gets stronger. Your technical skills develop. And for me, this happened through writing over 300 blog posts, launching multiple courses, showing up week after week, year after year. And finally, after all of that, after the commitment, after showing courage, after developing your abilities, that's when confidence arrives. It comes from seeing your students succeed, from getting testimonials, from actually doing the work. It's built on a foundation of experience and results. This is why waiting for confidence is backwards. Confidence only comes through experience, through actually getting results. At the start, you need to commit to an idea and have the courage to show up and do the work. Gain experience, develop your abilities, and then, only then, will you have genuine confidence. Looking back today, I can see that this journey from commitment to confidence wasn't a straight line. It was a series of small steps, consistent actions, and steady progress. The confidence I have today wasn't there in the beginning. It was built through years of showing up, of serving my community, and staying committed to my vision, even when the results weren't immediately visible. And I know you can get there too. I believe in you. I know you can do this. You just need to get started. You need to commit. Now, speaking of commitment, this next lesson might surprise you because it's actually about doing less, not more. Keep it simple. That's lesson 2. Keep it simple. Let me share a story that really drove this lesson home for me. In 2021 and 2022, I traveled all around Europe in my campervan. I went to Norway, to Sweden, to the Alps, to the UK, to Spain and Portugal and France. I spent 6 months of the year on the road, both of those years, often traveling for 3 months at a time. Now, try running an online business from a campervan. It forces you to strip away down to the absolute essentials. I remember setting up my mobile office in all sorts of places, that expensive camping site in the UK, chosen purely for the Wi-Fi, or parking lots of supermarkets with decent cell signal, using my phone as a hotspot. When you're working with limited internet, limited space, and limited time, because, I wanted to get out there exploring and hiking and seeing things, you quickly learn what really matters in your business. Here's the surprising part. I still had a six-figure year, both in 2021 and 2022. And you know what I was selling? Just one premium program. That's it. No complex sales funnels, no multiple offers, no elaborate marketing schemes. Just one solid program that I knew delivered results for my students. This completely transformed how I think about business. Early on, I was like many entrepreneurs. I thought more was better. More courses, more offerings, more marketing channels, a membership, more complex systems. I bought every fancy marketing tool and courses, and I tried to implement elaborate sales funnels. And yeah, it was a bit overwhelming and frustrating. But then my campervan lifestyle taught me that simplicity isn't just about having less, it's about having the right things in place. When you can only focus on a few key elements of your business, you make sure those elements are rock solid. You make sure they really work. The real breakthrough came when I stopped trying to do everything and instead focused on doing a few things really well. Instead of being everywhere online, I focused on showing up consistently in a few key places where my ideal students actually spend their time. And this simplicity made everything so much easier. It made it more profitable and, more importantly, more impactful for my students. Because when you're not spread thin trying to do everything, you can excel at what matters most. The lesson: you don't need fancy funnels or complicated systems to be successful. Sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective. Focus on what works, what you can consistently deliver, and what truly serves your audience. Everything else is just noise. Moving on to lesson number 3, energetics are important, but strategy is essential. This is a lesson that bridges my yoga background with business reality. In the wellness space, in the yoga space, there's often a lot of emphasis on energy, manifestation, and mindset. And yes, these are important, no questions about it. But I learned that good vibes alone don't build a sustainable business. I remember a period in Bali where I was doing all the right things energetically: meditation, visualization, affirmation, but my business wasn't growing. It felt like I was working, and I still didn't make enough money. The turning point came when I combined these practices with solid marketing strategies and systematic business processes. Things like having a clear brand message. You need to be able to articulate exactly who you serve and how you serve them. For me, this meant moving beyond just saying, I help yoga teachers with marketing, to being specific about helping them create successful online courses and build sustainable online businesses. You also want to have an aligned offer suite. I mean, if you don't have anything to sell, no amount of manifestation is going to help you. You already know that, right? This means having offerings that make sense together and create a clear journey for your clients. In my business, I have carefully structured offerings, from my lower price courses that help yoga teachers start their online journey, all the way up to my premium programs for those ready to scale and grow. Each offer leads naturally to my signature program, creating a pathway for growth. And then I learned how important it is to price your offers for profit. This was a game changer for me. It's not just about picking random prices. It's about understanding your numbers, knowing your worth, and structuring your offers so they're actually profitable. I had to learn that undercharging doesn't serve anyone, not you, and certainly not your clients. When I finally priced my premium program appropriately, I could deliver better results because I had the resources to provide more support. The magic happens when you combine these strategic elements with the energetic practices. When your mindset work is supported by solid business foundation. When your manifestation practices are backed by clear action steps. When your intuitive decisions are guided by data and experience. For example, before launching a new program, I now spend time both in meditation to connect with my vision and in my spreadsheets, making sure the numbers work. I pay attention to my intuition about which projects to work on, and I check that they align with my strategic goals and market demand. This balance of energetics and strategy has been so important for creating sustainable success. And I want to talk more about that in the future, how I do it, how I bring it together. Because while the energy you bring to your business is important, it needs to be channeled through effective systems and strategies to really create results. Remember, the universe can only meet you halfway if you've built the bridge to get there. Your positive mindset needs practical foundations to stand on. Which leads me to lesson number 4. Believe in your intuition. Hey there, have I told you about the Blissful Biz Hive? I'm so excited to invite you to join the friendliest free biz building community on the internet, the Blissful Biz Hive. Whether you're a coach, a yoga teacher, or another heart-led entrepreneur, this is the space where your dreams of building a purpose-driven, profitable online business can truly take flight, all without the hustle and burnout. Now, I know you're busy, so let me tell you about the incredible goodies waiting for you inside the Hive. When you join today, you'll get immediate access to our free training, Make Your First or Next 5K Online. This is my proven 4-pillar framework that's helped so many of my clients stand out, attract their dream clients, and create irresistible signature offers. This training alone is valued at $297, but you get it for free just for being part of our community. We also have weekly calls where I hop on live to answer your questions and offer support. Plus, there are exclusive trainings, workshops, and so much more. And here's something super fun. You can actually earn points by participating in the community, which unlocks some amazing bonuses valued at over $1,200. How cool is that? So if you're tired of trying to figure everything out on your own, or you're just looking for a place where you can grow your business with love and support, the Blissful Biz Hive is exactly where you need to be. I can't wait to see you inside. Go to susannereiker.com/hive and join today. That's SUSANNERIKER.com/hive, HIVE, to join. Let's build that purpose-driven, profitable business of your dreams together. I need to be honest here. Learning to trust my business intuition took much longer than trusting my intuition in life decisions. For example, in 2022, there was a moment when I had everything planned out. I was going to move to Portugal. It made perfect sense on paper. I was there in my camper van, like driving around, checking out different areas, trying to convince myself this was the right move. I needed to find the right place. But something felt off. Everything was so hard, and I couldn't even decide where to drive the next day. I couldn't put my finger on it, but the energy wasn't there. Then my sister made a simple suggestion: why don't you travel to Mallorca? And immediately I felt that spark. You know, that feeling where something just clicks, that immediate yes in your body. That's what I felt. It was so weird. So I followed that spark. I booked the car ferry. I rented an Airbnb because it's too cold. It was January to camp in Mallorca in winter. And I fell in love with the island. It led me exactly where I needed to be. Now Mallorca is home and it feels absolutely right. But in business, for years I ignored these same intuitive signals. I followed what my business mentors told me to do, even when something felt off. I was setting up funnels and fake timers, but there was this nagging feeling in my gut saying, this isn't you. But I pushed that aside. After all, these were successful entrepreneurs giving me proven strategies. Surely they knew better than my inner voice, right? Maybe I was just wanting to play small or something. So I followed their launch formulas, copied their marketing approaches, and tried to fit my business into someone else's model. And yes, I got some results. The strategies weren't bad. They worked for many people, but they never worked as well as they should have for me. Something was always a bit off, like wearing shoes that are the wrong size. You can walk in them, but it's never quite comfortable. It took me a while to realize that this disconnect was costing me more than just comfort. It was costing me authentic connection with my audience and fulfillment in my business. The strategies that didn't align with my intuition might have brought in some money, but they didn't create the deep impact I wanted to make. Over time, I learned to start trusting my business intuition way more. Just like I knew Mallorca was right for me the moment my sister mentioned it, I now really listen to my intuition to come to decisions. When something feels aligned, I pursue it. And when something feels off, I step back. Now, this doesn't mean I ignore strategy or reject all advice. No. Here's something that might seem a bit scary at first, but trust me, it's so important. Lesson number 5, don't be afraid to niche down. Let me take you on my niching journey because it's been quite a ride. I started with what felt like a pretty specific niche, marketing for yoga teachers. At the time, some people thought that was already too narrow. Why not work with all wellness entrepreneurs? They'd ask. Why limit yourself? But here's the thing, even that wasn't niche down enough at first. I was trying to help yoga teachers with everything: their website, social media, business coaching, marketing strategy, you name it. I was a bit scattered, trying to be everything to everyone, even within my chosen niche. Then last year, I thought I need to change things, and I experimented with positioning myself as a midlife business coach. On paper, it made perfect sense. I could relate to this audience because I'm going through perimenopause and it's a growing market. As I said, on paper, yeah, of course, I was inspired and excited to start. But something felt off. I lost that deep connection I had with my yoga teacher community, that intimate understanding of their specific challenges and dreams, basically everything that I've built up over the last 7 years. Suddenly, I just was throwing it away, and that really didn't make sense at all. Now I'm back to my true north, helping yoga teachers and hard-led entrepreneurs package their expertise into digital offers and build an online business. Yes, I work with life coaches, Pilates teachers, sex coaches, dog trainers, meditation coaches, and more. And I absolutely love this variety. But yoga teachers remain my primary audience, my core community, my true niche. And you know what? I have zero desire to broaden it. Think about it. I could easily rebrand myself as a business coach, helping entrepreneurs build a six-figure online business. That's what a lot of people do. But I'd be lost in a sea of sameness, sounding just like thousands of other business coaches out there. Instead, by staying focused on yoga teachers as my primary niche, I speak their language, I understand their unique challenges, I know their fears about monetizing their spiritual practice, I can address their specific concerns about teaching online, I get their resistance to marketing and selling, and I can share relevant examples they actually relate to. This deep understanding means I can create better, more targeted solutions. When I develop a course or program, I'm not thinking about generic business principles. I'm thinking about the specific journey a yoga teacher needs to take to create a thriving online business. Sure, the principles I teach could work for many types of entrepreneurs. An online business is an online business is an online business. That's why I love working with other hard led business owners too. But by maintaining my niche, here's what I've learned. When you speak directly to a specific audience, you become magnetic to them. They feel seen, understood, and served in a way that generic business coaching could never achieve. It's like the difference between a general doctor and a specialist. Both are valuable, but when you have a specific problem, you want the specialist who deeply understands your particular situation. That's what niching down allows you to become a specialist with focused expertise. Moving on, the next lesson is really close to my heart. It's knowing when to hustle and when to slow down. Before I became a yoga teacher and started building my online business, I was working in advertising and I nearly burned out twice. I was working so much. Every weekend, long hours. It's a very demanding career. Yoga helped me so much because it taught me awareness. I feel when I'm exhausted. I know it. I feel it in my body. I listen to it. I'm also in my 50s and I don't have the same amount of energy anymore I had when I was in my 30s or even 40s. So, with this background, I was always careful not to overwork myself. Even though building your own business, it's exciting. You want to do the work. Still, there are phases where I work a lot, like when I'm creating content for a new offer, I'm recording the lessons, or I'm launching something. And yes, then the energy is high, the pace can be kind of intense. But I've also learned to build in recovery time and I keep things simple, like I have small launches. And I really don't have any interest in things like running a big summit where I need to send a trillion emails or building a huge team and all that. I want things to feel soft and simple. And yes, I'm still ambitious. I get things done. I really get things done. I'm a hard worker, but I also really take my breaks. Like I always take a really long walk sometime in the day. I take little breaks throughout the working day. Sometimes I work on the weekends, for example, when it's raining, and sometimes I take an afternoon off in the week. So I really try to have balance there. So yeah, knowing when to hustle and when to slow down, it's a big lesson. Okay, lesson number 7, be clear on your vision. This lesson has evolved significantly over the years. Initially, when I started this business, I just wanted to make enough money to live in Bali. What I really wanted was freedom, the ability to work from anywhere, to take time off, to design my days around my energy levels rather than a traditional schedule. And I can't imagine going back to like a normal job where you work like 9 to 5, although I don't even know who does that, like 9 to 7 or 9 to 8. That's what it was like for me. Oh my God, that's like my worst nightmare, right? I don't want to get back there ever. So I want to have freedom. It's something I really, really value so much. And these days, I'm more committed to my initial vision than I've been in the last years. I want a business that allows me to work from anywhere, whether that's my home in Mallorca or from a camper van or when I'm traveling, that provides me with time freedom to take extended breaks, that lets me serve my community deeply without sacrificing my own well being, that creates meaningful impact while maintaining simplicity, and that generates consistent revenue without requiring constant launching. So, this clarity has become my decision making framework. And this is why I restructured my offer suite, especially the Blissful Biz Academy. I took out the high touch one on one elements. And that feels so much better for me right now. I want more freedom in my calendar in the next year. And that might change again, right? So I might say I really want to work with a smaller group again on a much deeper level, or I want to sell more and every day and feel that momentum and abundance. Your vision might look completely different from mine, and that's exactly the point. Success isn't about following someone else's blueprint. It's about being crystal clear on what success means to you. It's much easier to build a business you love if you know what you want, what that would look like. Otherwise, you might end up building something that looks successful on paper but feels completely wrong in practice. And also remember, it's okay to change things, to evolve. Actually, it's to be expected. Okay, and finally, this might be the most important lesson of all. Lesson number 8, protect and strengthen your most important asset, you. This ties everything together. I used to think self care was selfish when there was work to be done. That's my background in advertising, when my clients' projects always came first. They were always so important, right? Even like having a cold was like impossible. No, you still have to work, you still have to show up. Today, my life looks very different. I understand that my business can only grow as much as I do. I invest in my personal growth consistently. I meditate. I started EFT tapping. I practice yoga. I go to Pilates. I read a ton of books. And I'm always learning and evolving. And for me, that's the best part of being an entrepreneur. So these days, I try to structure my business around my well being, not the other way around. And that's how I started my business when I was in Bali. I always went to yoga class every single morning. Yoga always came first. I don't practice yoga every day anymore, but I try to get back into that, even just like 20 to 30 minutes in the morning. I don't have it all perfectly figured out. I failed. I made so many mistakes, you know. But we only have this one life. I love being open to all the opportunities that we have, that chance to grow, to expand, to invite more abundance in my life. Yes, so these 8 years, they have taught me so many more lessons, but these are the ones that have truly shaped my business and my life, and I hope you enjoyed hearing them and learned a bit from my experiences. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes where I'll dive deeper into my vision for the future, how to plan your best year ever, how I use intuition in my business, and all the things. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Until next time, keep building your blissful business. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Blissful Biz podcast. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you hit subscribe and left a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other yoga teachers and coaches find these strategies too, and it would mean the world to me. It really makes a difference. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website, susannereiker.com, where you'll find my free resources, latest blog posts, and all the ways we can work together to grow your online business. Until next week, keep building your blissful biz.